Sam Bankman-Fried is facing a multitude of charges today. The 30-year-old former head of crypto exchange FTX was supposed to testify in front of the House Financial Services Subcommittee earlier today. Instead, he was arrested last night and indicted today on 8 criminal charges. The hearing went on without SBF, and California Congressman Brad Sherman had a big statement, not only on FTX, but all of crypto.
For 5 years, I've been trying to ban American investments in crypto. I'm the only member of the House to get an F from the only crypto promoting organization that rates members of Congress. My fear is that we'll view Sam Bankman-Fried as just one big snake in a crypto Garden of Eden. The fact is, crypto is a garden of snakes.
Garden of snakes. Congressman Sherman joins us now. He serves as the chairman of the House Financial Services Subcommittee on Investor Protection and Capital Markets. Good to see you, sir. You wear that F as a badge of honor, but why do you believe this collapse of FTX is also an indictment on cryptocurrency as a whole?
Well, the whole purpose of cryptocurrency is to become a currency, and it isn't a currency yet, but it would like to be. The only reason it might have value is that it might become a currency. Otherwise, it's just the pet rock of the 21st century, an NFT without any artistic value. You got to ask, well, why do they want a different currency? Dollar's pretty good. And the answer is the dollar is really bad if you want to engage in tax evasion, sanctions evasion, evade bankruptcy court, which I know Sam Bankman-Fried is focused on now, drug dealing, etc. So the advantage of cryptocurrency over the US dollar, if it ever became a currency, is right there in its name. It intends to be a hidden currency, secret money. And so when you invest in something, the whole purpose of which is to evade the laws of the United States, or to create a tool that will help others evade the law of the United States, you shouldn't be surprised if you meet people who like to evade the laws of the United States. Cryptocurrency is a solution in search of a problem, but the problem that it is designed to be a solution for is that the laws of the United States are enforced.
So, Congressman, if all of crypto is junk, is the idea of decentralized finance then also junk? And then I guess what is your message to those Americans who are big believers in this? Because if you take a look at the price of Bitcoin, it's actually come back quite a bit and just below 18,000 today. So there clearly are a lot of people who do believe in this.
Well, they believe that they can buy it at 16 and sell it at 17. And I would urge them to invest instead. Take those animal spirits, take that willingness to invest, and put it in companies that create jobs and plants and products here in the United States, instead of betting on something, which it might go up in value. It apparently did today. But its purpose is to undermine the US dollar and create a currency useful for tax evaders and sanctions evaders. I would say you can make money by investing in something that's going to help society rather than in something that aspires to displace partially the US dollar as a reserve currency, as they've announced is their objective, which would cost every family in the United States thousands of dollars in extra costs and bad economic results. So, you might be able to make money investing in a heroin processing operation. It might go from $16,000 a share to $17,000 a share. But if the ultimate purpose of the investment is to process heroin or to do something that is antisocial, that is designed to hurt the country, maybe you want to invest in something else.
Congressman, do you think that the SEC maybe dropped the ball here in trying to regulate FTX's U.S. operations, or is it something that they can't even look into because it's so opaque?
Well, in July, I urged the SEC to shut down every unregistered crypto exchange and every exchange here in the United States that was dealing in unregistered securities. And of course, all of the exchanges, crypto exchanges, do that. So I wish the SEC had done more. But the people who criticized the SEC at the hearing are the ones who have been hammering on them to do less, who have been attacking them every time they do something. And in fact, 19 Republican members sent a letter to the SEC just 5 months ago, berating them for being concerned as what the letter calls the purported risks of cryptocurrency. Well, those risks are not purported. They're quite real.
I really want to ask you if you heard from snake lovers, but we don't have enough time. I share your dislike of snakes. Can't stand them. But I do want to ask you, you didn't get a chance to talk to Sam Bankman-Fried today. If you had that opportunity, what question would you like to ask him? And what was left unanswered today, although John J. Ray was very upfront?
The one question I had, one of the questions I had for him was whether he had consulted with experts or attorneys who could advise him on where he might flee and avoid U.S. extradition. I think we saw that answer this morning, and the answer was no. He had not consulted, or he had not taken their advice. The other question I was going to ask him is that he, in an interview we did in November, said that he gave tens of millions of dollars to dark money Republican operations, and of course, he's also gave openly to some Democratic operations, usually against friends of mine in primaries. And I would have asked him to identify which dark money Republican operations he gave to, because the Democratic operations that he gave to are all a matter of public record.
Does Congress have a lot of looking in the mirror to do, given that he appeared to buy an awful lot of influence there on Capitol Hill?
We've got a flawed system of government where members of Congress seek campaign contributions and deal with lobbyists. And there's no PAC here in Washington on the other side. There's not a PAC here that is dedicated to making sure that our tax laws can be enforced. There's not a lobbyist paid by any organization that's trying to make sure that the U.S. dollar remains the preeminent world currency and reserve currency. So we do not have a perfect system of government. We have a system of government where people are raising money for political campaigns. And sometimes that's counterbalanced because you have people on both sides with lobbyists and PACs. But in this case, all the money, all the power, all the lobbyists are the crypto billionaire bros that literally make money by making money.
So, Congressman, you want regulation. You just don't. You want a specific type of regulation. I know you've been extremely critical of those on the other side of the aisle that have been critical of the SEC and the potential role in regulation. If you could design it, what do you want? And how confident are you that we are going to get regulation in a very timely manner?
We're not going to get what I want, which is a prohibition on Americans buying crypto.
Well, then what's more realistic? I guess what is something that you think both sides of the aisle could agree on?
The most realistic is that Congress not legislate at all, because as I said, all the money and power is on the side of dismantling a system in which we can collect taxes and enforce our sanctions laws. The SEC has most of the authority it needs under present statute, and were we to try to pass a statute, it's more likely that we would make it worse, that we would reduce regulation. Keep in mind, Sam Bankman-Fried was here often in his shorts, lobbying, passing out money for the purpose of getting the SEC completely out of crypto. And all of my colleagues have trashed Sam Bankman-Fried. We shouldn't trash Bankman-Fried and then pass his bill. So the most important thing is to let the SEC do their job and to encourage them to do their job. Now, if we could pass legislation that said all of crypto was a security, rather than most of crypto qualifying under a 1940s case that defines what a security is, that would be a step forward. But with no lobbyists, no money, no PACs, it is unlikely that we're going to be able to pass good legislation. Let's just hope we don't pass bad legislation.
All right, Congressman Brad Sherman, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us here at Yahoo Finance. We look forward to having you back. Thanks so much for taking the time this afternoon.